It is 5 o'clock. It's time for Sunday Lightning Talks. I forgot for a moment I couldn't lift the microphone away from my mouth while I was speaking. Well, thank you very much for coming. I'm afraid it's our last session of Lightning Talks. Very good. You came with your voices. This is what we like to hear. So we have 45 minutes of Lightning Talks today, so it's a little bit shorter, and then we're going to have the closing session. So I am not going to talk any longer than I have to. So I'm going to introduce Carly, who is going to talk to you about pigeons.
Right. So my problem is I have too many pigeon pictures. Seriously, too many pigeon pictures. This is my Google Photos. I think about 200 gigs are me weightlifting and the rest is pigeons. Videos as well, but you know. So that's a pigeon picture. And that was my first of my own pigeons. I now live with 10 of them. So this is the worst plot I've ever made. The red is people who hate pigeons. The green is people who love pigeons. Someone did a survey once. And the pale area is everyone else. So if you're a red area, maybe just look away for the next couple of minutes. If not, this is Peanut. Peanut is my roundest pigeon. This is Belle. He's a boy, but the rest you didn't know. That's Tabby. This was right when we rescued her. And she looked very cute. But we're going to come back to Tabby. That's Shrimp, who's the only pigeon that I've rehabbed and released. And he had hair around his foot, and then had some tendon damage from that, and we splintered the foot, and he healed. And I think last time I saw him, he was living outside Morrison's. So that's Peanut again. She's just so photogenic. And so pigeons are everywhere, but they're not the most abundant bird in the UK. This is a BTO stat, and the top 5 have like 5 million plus pairs. That's the citation. In the same paper, you have rock doves, which are city pigeons, and a few wild ones. And it's like less than a tenth of those numbers. Which is quite surprising, but they just live around humans because, next one, Shrimp again, because he looks like a wild pigeon. There was a paper fairly recently that there are almost no wild rock doves left in the UK. They're only in the Outer Hebrides because most of them are like mostly descended from racing pigeons or like show pigeons. There's like 600 breeds of domestic pigeons. So Shrimp looks kind of wild, but isn't. That's Rose. Rose is a homing pigeon. And this is going to be the tech part, which is we have a lot of stuff going on about pigeon-based data transfer. There have been some experiments in South Africa where it was actually quicker to use a pigeon than to use their internet. Here's like an official proposal. Both of these were published on April 1st. So, you know. This is Beatrice. She is an example. She is quite disabled, but she made a quite nice nest. And like, if you look at pigeon nests on the internet, it's like 2 sticks usually. My birds do not agree. That's Fawn. His nest is a beautiful rainbow, but something is crappy about it, which is that it's under the radiator. Just the choices. This one is like the only picture that isn't mine. That's a pigeon in New Zealand who disassembled a like poppy installation and built a nest from it. That's me with Benny. I just wanted to talk about how pigeons are actually great pets. there's way more pigeons for adoption than people who take them. They're incredibly cuddly and clingy if they're not in a flock. So my current ones aren't, but Benny was. That's Freya and Russell. Freya is a boy, Russell is a girl. Again, people just name them whatever. And that's Tabby again. She's had a bit of a glow up. And these are their socials. They both have like a Discord link as well, but it's not a nice one, so yeah. I think that's it.
Thank you very much, Carly. We have had a request for a lightning talk about cassowaries, so if anybody's able to give that talk next year at PyCon UK, please fill out an index card and apply to give a lightning talk. In the meantime, assuming there is nobody here who can instantly do a talk on cassowaries, we have pharmacy analysis with open data from Chayoon. Take it away.
Yeah, hi. This is Chayoon, who is going to present about the pharmacy analysis with open data. It's about the vibe coding, which I recently started. And then I thought of introducing what's the beginners, the principle, how I have managed about the vibe coding to lead onto my wanted output. So hopefully it's something for you to start vibe coding, if not. I submitted the generic, the title of the talk, because I'm not too sure how many of you are familiar with the pharmacy first. Has anyone heard about the pharmacy first? Okay, yes. What is the pharmacy first? So on the street, the high street, there is a pharmacy, and then it's now been able for a local pharmacist to prescribe the antibiotics to you. It had been launched since the last year, the January, which wasn't available from the before. And then since then, these are the 7 conditions for the pharmacist can prescribe you. Depends on how the acute symptoms are matching. And then, it's been able to get some antibiotics from the local pharmacist. It then can help the GP to halve the burden, but also for patients a benefit as well, so that they don't need to wait for the GP for a week for the acute symptom. So it's kind of the pharmacy, the policy, helping the both sides. So it's been a year and a half by now. So I was also got benefit from this policy when I had a sore throat. And then, I just go to the local pharmacy and then, just asking if I can get some antibiotics. And then I wanted to prepare for the next time. But the thing is, the symptoms are not just like coming to me as like with something to notice. So it just coming suddenly. It doesn't know it's going to be the Sunday, or it doesn't know about it's going to be the evening of the midday. I don't know, yes. So I just wanted to have some good initiative, like if I just build something, an agent, what's the current date and time, and then search the nearest the pharmacy, which is open, but also prescribable for the antibiotics. And then I also wanted to know about the regional trends, or whether that pharmacy premises is going to be open or closed in next year or maybe next quarter. Because sometimes, I also heard about the news that saying the local pharmacies are actually struggling with some financial the burden, and then it's more closing. So those type of the good initiative, I wanted to do something, and then. How likely is this pharmacy to be open in next quarter or next year? This is something the predictive model I was thinking of to use the LLM's power. And I picked the 2 tools, Cursor and Cohere API. Why Cursor? Because I downloaded the latest version of the Cursor like 10 days ago. And why Cohere? Because I attended last Sunday hackathon, open at Cohere. So it's really not mature, the project at all. And then everything is currently on the development hugely. So I'm hoping, the internet supports me to run. If the feedback is not coming, the internet, okay, yes. Yeah, so if everything in this repository had been built up with cursor and then with my prompt, and then this one is currently giving this current location, I manually input here, and then check it, what is the time, date, and then search the radius. I just set the prompt as like 30 to 15 minutes walking, and then this is classified as Northwest Manchester, and data source, it had been looked up this one, and then filtered, and then found one, and then 1, 2, 3 is going to be somewhere like the Google map. I can just click it to open how to go. And then it also presenting as like a weekly hours, how many hours these pharmacies are usually open. So if a pharmacy is usually open like 100 hours per week, it's likely to open whenever I'm asking for. So this is the result. And then how I had prompted this one, I had a 3 principles. So first, data. Instead of letting it to search the open data, I just make it locked in. So I gave it to search for the NHS-BSA, the open data source, and then I also let this one to be searched within this given data source. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jae-Yoon. I do hate to cut off talks, but we don't have a lot of time. So if we could get our event speakers up onto the stage right now, we're just going to quickly go through various event promotions. I think the slides are slightly out of order, but if we could get the first slide up, fantastic. You get 1 minute each to promote your event. Sasha, go.
Thank you. My name is Sasha, and I'm the conference chair of Write the Docs Berlin. We are end of October in Germany, and we are not Read the Docs, we're Write the Docs, and we're a community of documentarians, which includes a lot of people who write documentation as their day job, but also anyone who's involved in any way in any documentation. We have also a lot of developers, people who do support, information management, write books, and anything like that. We've been around since 2013. This is our first time back in a hybrid event in Europe. There's also a virtual part, so you can join remotely. 2 days of talks and on conference. We have talks about discoverability, docs and data sovereignty, open source, and also theater, Pokemon, and software docs. There are no cassowaries at the conference, but the zoo has some in Berlin, so you can combine the visit if you'd like to explore both. And we will sell out soon, so get your ticket fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha.
Oh, you can't see anything here. That's great. But you can see me. That's good. I'm Niklas from the EuroPython organization team, and you can see I'm definitely not on the design team. I'm very sorry for the slide. EuroPython, some of you might have been there. I've seen a few T-shirts, which is great. It's 7 days of Python, 2 days tutorials, 3 days of talks, 2 days of sprints. About 1,500 people. You never know exactly beforehand, of course. Where? Well, you should know before, but currently we don't yet. So please scan the code. It's our blog, and it will be announced soon. And it will be in the middle of July, and it will also be announced when exactly. Yeah, would be great to see some of you there. The second thing is, I came here to visit you, so I wanted to invite you to visit me in the middle of October, so soon, for 2 days of Python at the Swiss Python Summit in Rapperswil, which is close to Zurich, so there's an airport nearby. It's 1 day of Python, the language you love, and 1 day of data science and more. So if you're just interested in one of those, then maybe take the other day to explore Switzerland, which is beautiful. Also, it's not a weekend, it's Thursday and Friday, so just like PyCon UK, you can go for 4 days and then just visit Switzerland. Maybe. Yes, and tickets are still available, of course, otherwise I would not present this. Yes. Please
Thank
come.
you, Nicholas. Next slide. Wagtail Space.
Hey everyone, come join us for Wagtail Space on the 8th to 10th of October. It's a conference for Wagtail, an open source content management system built on Django. We're doing it virtually this year, so it's completely free. There will be talks from a wide range of speakers, so whether you are completely new to Wagtail, or maybe you use Wagtail as a content editor, or as a developer building website with Wagtail, or you're looking to contribute to Wagtail, we have something for you. So sign up at wagtail.org/space or scan the QR code. We'll see you there.
Thank you, Sage.
Hello everyone, I'm Eloisa and I would like to invite you all to come to PyCon Spain this year. It's going to be in Seville from the 17th to the 19th of October. There will be an English track, so don't worry, you don't have to go through all the Spanish talks. And there will be 2 Django Girls workshops, so if anyone would like to learn Django or mentor Django, we would definitely like to welcome you there. And there's lots of beautiful sunshine, so if you'd like to escape the rain, you're most welcome. And also, if you buy your tickets within the next week, it's only £35, so about the price of a meal here, so you have no excuse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elisa.
Hello everyone, it's me again. So I mentioned PyCon Africa earlier. It's happening very, very soon, and it's happening right at the pointy bit at the end of the continent. So I'm sure many of you would not be able to attend in person. That's okay, because we're also doing it online. So we'll be streaming all of our talks and a bunch of cool things on the 9th and 10th of October. Scan the QR code and you can join us. There's a lot of really, really interesting things happening on the continent, so find out about it.
Thank you, Sheena.
Hello, I'm Lily Acorn. I'm a member of the Django Steering Council, and I'm going to announce Django on the Med, which is a 3-day Django development sprint. It's in Spain, so it'll be better weather than here, and it is free to attend, and yeah, please come if you're interested in getting involved in Django. It's free to experienced people and newcomers as well.
Thank you, Lily. Oh, I think that might be it. Is everybody gone? Everybody's gone. Fantastic. Okay, in that case, moving on. It really is very tight today, the time. I would like to introduce Dr. Michael Sullivan, who is going to give a talk called From Research Scientist to Software Scientist.
Hi everyone, my first PyCon, so this is new. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about how I went from a research scientist to a software scientist. I was going to put a story of success, but that is yet to be seen. About me, I did physics at the University of Manchester, so 8-minute walk away is where I did most of my career. Where physicists are bad coders. If you know a physicist, you probably know this. But my only coding experience in my whole 8 years at Manchester was a single term of Intro to C++ in my 3rd year, which was write a piece of code which tests if 2 shapes overlap. And I did that, I got a good grade, and went, yeah, I can program. Wrong. So welcome to physics research. On my first day, everyone uses Python. Go and use Python. I've never heard of Python at this point because nobody told me about it. So I went on to start to learn Python. No I didn't. Everyone uses Python except for my supervisor, so therefore I did not use Python. I used Wolfram Mathematica instead. And during my PhD, I had to do a load of calculations. And if you recognize these equations, may God have mercy on your soul. So I had to get in touch with some Japanese researchers who wrote some code in Fortran about 30 years ago, and they sent me the source code, said, doesn't work anymore, broke about 2005, good luck. So So I did an affront to everything that is holy in this world, and instead of using 4chan, I've never seen 4chan before either, instead of using Python, I instead used a wraparound 4chan in Wolfram Mathematica and managed to get some results, which I published. So I got there in the end, and then CERN made the mistake of hiring me after this. Obligatory picture. So a lot of my work there was to do with electromagnetic simulations in a program called CST. But then a load of things went to hell and things broke, so I had to resort to using Slurm clusters instead. So HPC. And in order to write any simulations, you have to write a load of supporting files, send them off, wait a few days, comes back, you look at your results. But when things started to break, I was doing this 20 times a day, and that took most of my workload. So I instead went, this is where I learned Python. So I made a GUI in order to automate this. It worked, is the least I can say about it. So you just, you're right, this is what I want to do, this is the solver I want to use, these are some parameters you want to give to the Slurm cluster. It SSHs into the Slurm cluster and says, is it done yet? Yes, no. If it is, send me an email. I'm glad that this source code has been hidden because this amount of if, elif, else statements should be illegal. But then people started to use it. It was very useful to them, and I got some nice comments from my colleagues. Works well, new version looks very useful, congratulations. So I went, Python's pretty good. So I went on, I somehow got a summer student, and we made a load of packages about doing like standard calculations that everybody was like repeating code to do. So we standardized it across the department, and people started using that. So that was good. Academia papers. So then I started working for STFC here, which is part of UKRI. And we do fancy things with neutron imaging. So I'm still kind of a scientist, not really. So yeah, we take a lot of pictures of things, we spin them around, and we can do 3D projections using neutron beams. So stuff like an Egyptian sarcophagus, we can have a look inside. X-rays can't penetrate it, but we can see what's inside it with neutrons and work out what materials it's made out of, because you're not allowed to open something from ancient Egypt. So now I'd like to call myself a programmer. So now we have this GUI that we use, that we maintain the software for. It can do all sorts of fancy things. And this kind of brings on to the slightly technical bit, is I am an advocate for MVP. So if anybody uses and does GUI stuff, this is a godsend. So because the other GUI that I wrote, everything was in the same file. It was messy. It was unreadable. So yeah, you can separate things. The idea is you have your model, which actually does things. Your view, this is what the GUI looks like, and you have a presenter, which is like a butler that goes between the two, drops off information. The user's done something. Okay, I'll go tell the model. Model calculates something, brings it back to the user. So yeah, the benefits of this is you can separate things out. It isolates bits of logic code. You can test them individually instead of having to do a system test for the whole thing. You can maintain it, so it's easy to read. And you can decouple development so multiple people can work on the same file at the same time, and normally things don't break. So yeah, that's me. I think I can call myself a programmer now, and yeah, thank you everyone.
Big round of applause, please. Thank you. Oh, we've got some foot stamping as well. Thank you. And now we have an epic Python journey by Dawn.
All right, so this is a better together story in scientific Python in pursuit of our journey. So please prepare to take out your phones over the next few seconds. There are 2 ways to become a member of the Python Software Foundation, which is a pride for many people. Also, if you want to take the Python packaging survey, we have 16,000 respondents already, and the data will be released in the first quarter of the next year. So first, we meet our first friend who sings a tale of what is possible, inspiring us to set off. Next, we stumble upon a shopkeeper and a warrior who has experience with all essential tools, like an IDE to transport you to another place, a magic hourglass, or a book of incantations. We meet a friend of immense knowledge and years who tells us of old tools and new, like lightning-fast performance-first approach, zero-code change philosophy, data frames, graph analytics, machine learning, and an enjoyable developer experience. We have gathering a companion of engineering fortitude. Scientific computing software serves dual purposes. It must produce correct scientific results and be a maintainable software system. We have a friend who helps us on our side quest, deeper into understanding the Python interpreter. And then we have trials and tribulations, understanding why Python is the second best language for everything. It's a lot to learn. We also have a new friend who will help us navigate that. Sometimes packages build differently on date, bugs in GCC based on import order, correct configure script, which sometimes can be in Perl, maybe shared symbols across libraries, which deletes references silently. Or maybe your build requires Chromium, the browser, or file system issues. Or different architectures that your program are running on. Our magician siblings help with domain expertise that will go through your code. This tends to be problem-driven. And then we have some specialized trends that have emerged. Specialized Python distributions, people-like development environments, tools for orchestrations are currently winning, and agreed across the ecosystem there are too many environment standards and artifacts with a huge proliferation in tooling. Next steps, you want observable, modular, and documented code. And if you want to scale your quest with Python, again, this is the QR code. There are two ways to be a member. You can pay as little as 25 USD or have an average of 5 hours per month with code or volunteer contributions. And this unlocks one of the many benefits is you can vote for the PSF Board of Directors, which I am currently on. But where this analogy falls short, documentation is not dark magic. You are able to iterate. It is a long journey, and you do not have to understand the entire ecosystem to be successful. I want to thank Riska Erliancia for the visuals. They're beautiful, and please don't forget to take the Python packaging survey.
Thank you, Dawn. I don't know if you realize that, but Dawn wasn't pressing next on the slides to hit the time, so that takes some skill. Thank you. And now we have Emma, who is going to give you all the answers to the evil Python quiz that has made many of us groan over the course of the last couple of days. So, Emma, take it away.
Hi, I'm Emma. I am the evil person behind this quiz that we've been torturing with for the last few days. Just like to reiterate, this was purposely full of unexpected behavior, trick answers. If you got 0 or 1 on this score, you're in like the over 90% of people that did, which includes some incredibly talented, experienced engineers of 25 years plus experience. You're in very good company. It says absolutely nothing about your Python skills other than that perhaps you have more sense than to write code like this. So without further ado, the range-inclusive things, just a decoy. There are no double plus prefix operators in Python. It's doing a unary plus operator twice. Body of this loop does absolutely nothing. If you negate twice, again, does nothing. It's still 5. So true booleans added in Python 2.3 is a subclass of ints. True plus true is therefore the same as 1 plus 1. It's greater than 1. Next, all is actually checking is anything. Are there any falses in here? There can't be in an empty list. Therefore, all here gives you true. Here, this is a precedence thing. This is the kind of the same things. If you say 1 is less than x is less than 3, that actually expands out to is 1 less than x and is x greater than 1 and is x less than 3. So here, false, there's an and in between, and that's why it's unexpectedly this is true as well. Last one, bit shifting going on, but false is just 0, right? So we're shifting by nothing. So again, true. All of them are true. Next up. So here, this is cool actually, I didn't know this. So this is smart enough that when you append a to the end of this, it gets that it's a circular reference and does this cool ... thing. And then it's kind of nice and lazy. And when you slice the first bit off it, it kind of gets that it is going to be 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this is going to be repeating. So that's cool. Here, this one's just horrible. It's the worst of all possible answers. So this isn't atomic. You've got a mutable list as the first element of an immutable tuple. The extension of the list succeeds, but then when you try and assign to the first element of the tuple, that's going to go, but it did extend the list. So yeah, there's an error, but actually it did it anyway. So, next up, A and B are pointing at the same list. So when you append, there's one list, A and B. However, I'm horrible here. I put in a walrus operator. Append returns none. A is now none. B is a thing with one in. Congrats to the person that pointed out there shouldn't have been a comma in the print output. So, next up, this one's fun. So the generator, the 4x in x's, is bound at the point I declare this generator, so I'm going to be going over 1, 15, 8, but the bit after the if, evaluated at runtime. So 1 is not in this 2, etc. thing. 15, well, 15 plus 0j is a complex number with a 0 imaginary part, so that is equivalent to 15, so 15 is going to be the first element of this list. Next up, this one's horrible. So everything in Python is an object, including object itself, and type. Type, as well as being a function for checking the type of things, is also a thing you can use to make metaclasses and other classes. So everything's made from type. So effectively, the first 4 of these are all true. How on earth can A basically be a subclass of B if B is also a subclass of A? Like, what is going on there? The answer is that wouldn't work if these were Python classes, but type and object are implemented in CPython itself. The implementation is such that it's not really a true subclass here of either base class or the other, but you will get is subclass type object will give you true and vice versa will give you false, so it's the top one. Next up, so S and T are both the string hello. Strings in Python are immutable, so S is now a new string, hello world, T is still hello. As we now know, minus true can be the same as minus 1, so the last character in hello is O, so it's the top one. Now, this can cause a gotcha. So closures in Python are late binding. So what you'd really want to happen here is to pick the first answer, kind of wanting 0, 1. However, with F1, what's happened is it's bound to the last value of I in the outer loop, which is 1. So you're going to get the 1, 1 as the elements of L1, because I'm not calling that function until after the loop. Whereas with L2, I made a point of calling it inside the loop, so I get the 0, 1 expect. If you use a default argument, you bind the value of I as you go round through it, so you will get the 0, 1 that you expect, and therefore it is this last answer here. Finally, in Python 3.3, they added the ability to return from generators. This has the effect of raising a stop iteration. When you're calling list on a generator, it's going to collect all the elements in that sequence until you hit a stop iteration, which happens before anything. So it's an empty list. If you did want to get the 3 out of this, you need to catch the exception and do .value on it. Right. Don't code like that. However, it might be useful to know about. It might help you spot an issue in a code review. There might be some weird and wonderful time when you did want to. It might help you win a silly prize in a very, very silly quiz. So if you want to know more, esoteric Python, W2F Python. This was a great blog post. Python Coding Golf Wiki. We're hiring. I promise we don't write code like that. Thank you.
Hi. I feel like I've been put through all that trauma all over again. Now we have Darren, who would like to talk to you about donuts.
Hello. Thank you. Yeah, it's my first PyCon, and this is a really big stage, actually. So yeah, I'm here to talk about donuts. And what a great picture. Look at these. These are Krispy Kreme glazed ring donuts, yes. Probably the best donuts on Krispy Kreme. But I'm not actually here to talk about these kind of donuts. I'm here to talk about something else. Who uses Slack? A lot of people. Very good. Who uses Google Calendar? And who uses Google Calendar within Slack? And can anyone see where this is going yet? No. Good. My presentation still has value. Anyone heard of donut in Slack? Oh, okay. No. Not as many people as I hoped, so that's good. Yeah, so basically there is a Slack app called Donut, which is great for basically setting up groups of people from a channel, different places, just to basically sort out a way to do a donut, which is a kind of pairing or a group activity with other people. In my dev team, we use this for like dev pairing stuff, or in some cases just having a chat with people, because it's actually quite fun to talk to someone I'm not spoken to for like a couple of months. And basically, Donut is what we kind of use to sort that out. It it will automatically find times in your calendar to just say like when the two of you are free, and just set something up for you. And it just automates the whole process. You can opt out of it whenever you want to, and it kind of does really cool things. Oh, okay, that's kind of what I just said. But it sorts out a pairing rota basically between people, and you can get kind of cool stats across your team. So you can see like across all of the weeks that we do our kind of dev pairing, you can see in the number at the top how many groups were possible, and then in the blue how many groups have actually happened. So you can kind of see across the whole group of people, the whole cohort of your teams and stuff, like what kind of traction your donut pairing has had. It's a really great tool. It just you can just add it into like a Slack channel, and it will just automatically just create pairs of people every week. I think that's less than 5 minutes, and that's basically all I wanted to go over. So,
Thank you, Darren. We are having some technical problems. Could I ask the next speaker, is CJ? Yeah, if you could set up over there, that would be wonderful. So the farmer drove his tractor into the field, and it immediately got stuck. It was a magnetic field. I have more, but they do get worse. So if you were to take a tractor and open up the panel on the front, and there's another smaller tractor inside, and you take it out, that's a subtractor. That joke was written by Daniel Rios, who's sitting in the third row, so you can blame him. I only had a couple. Everything's been going so well for the last couple of days. Are you ready to go? CJ? Oh.
Yes.
Fantastic. Take it away.
Hello, I'm CJ, and I'm sorry you will never trust a lock again. So, this is a key. We've been using them for thousands of years. They're older than writing, but they are just a collection of numbers. It's called bidding. It's called decoding to get the numbers back out. This key is 421121. This is what a locksmith will do if you ever lose the keys to your car, by getting it out of the lock. Because a lock ultimately is just a series of pins or levers or something that move into the right place in order to unlock the cylinder that lets you open the lock. But the lock is a physical object and it is imperfect, which means you can often get the lock to tell you things about the key that will open it, or just bypass it completely. Some of you may be familiar with the lock-picking lawyer.
That is nothing much. We're going to try a few different attacks. We'll start with single pin picking.
This is a common lock that they will it's not supposed to be playing audio.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
This is a common lock that you can buy for storage containers, and he just opened it. That was with a lockpick. That's quite hard.
Specifically guards against it.
This is a comb. You can make it out of a piece of soft drink can. That's not the key, and it just opened the lock. But you might think, we're using computers with passwords. They don't do things like this. Oops, yes they do. Quite often, websites will tell you whether or not the username's right. Or sometimes you can use timing about the request to figure out things about the password. Sometimes they'll even tell you if the password was used previously. You shouldn't do this. Please go and check your auth code. So you might think, yeah, but passwords are longer. Yes, in theory, there's 1 billion passwords, but that's purely random. If we limit it to normal sort of password-ish things, it's only 500 billion, but people don't use fully random passwords if they set them themselves. You might start with a word, add capitalization, swap letters for numbers, add a character. The password strength checker will congratulate you on a good password. Congratulations, you just made the crackers very happy. There's only really 1 million words. People only know about 200,000. Even if each word has the equal chance and about 100 permutations, they don't. That's still only 200 million passwords. And if you can guess one per second, that's only 230 days. Computers can guess passwords much faster than that. There are programs online that claim to be able to do this in only a matter of days. So, what do? Just use a password manager. Everyone should be using a password manager. I like 1Password. It is good, it is cross-platform. Your phone probably has one built in, if it's reasonably modern. It's fine. Use one, use it for everything. Just set it to store your passwords and make them. Forget about it. It's good. What about the password for the password manager? Use a poem. Find a poem you like, pick a bit in the middle, use it as your password. Find a book you like, the more obscure the better. Pick a sentence from it, use that as your password. It'll also work for stuff that you can't use password managers on, and if you use the punctuation, it passes most security checks. Then you can write down which book you used, the page and the line number, store that somewhere safe, and it's safer than storing your password. Thank you very much. Use a password manager.
Great advice from CJ. Thank you. So you ready to go? Alex is ready to go. I can't remember the title of his talk, but take it away, Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. I work at Astral, and I'm here to give a quick introduction to the project I work on, which is TY, a Python type checker and language server. So I've been working at Astral for about 18 months now. Astral is the company behind the rough linter and the package manager UV. But the tool I'm working on is our new type checker TY. Outside of Astral, I'm also a CPython core developer, where I help maintain the typing module, and I also help maintain other parts of the Python typing ecosystem, such as the typeshed repository and the typing extensions backports library. What is a type checker? A type checker tries to check for things that would make your code crash at runtime, or that would make your code behave in ways that are almost certainly unintended. Unlike linters and formatters, they generally avoid complaining about stylistic or cosmetic issues that wouldn't affect the way your code behaves at runtime. Quite different from Black, but some type checkers that you might know of are MyPy, Pyrite, which is the type checker that VS Code uses under the hood, and PyCharm also has its built-in type checker. And a static type checker analyzes your code without running it, which means that it can analyze your code very quickly. So TY aims to build on what these previous type checkers like MyPy and Pyrite have done in several different ways. Firstly, we aim to be really fast. We aim to provide a great we aim to help the user in our diagnostics that we show. We aim to guide the user as to how they can fix the diagnostics that we present. We aim to be gradual. I'll explain what that means in a bit. And we have lots of innovations that we're trying to drive in the typing system as a whole. Speed is fairly self-explanatory, so I'll move on to our second goal. We want TY to be informative. Errors should give you all the information you need to understand and fix the problem. So here's an example diagnostic that we issued today, for example. So there is a multiply function in one file, and it's being used incorrectly in another file. So in the diagnostic about this, we will show the definition of the multiply function in the other file. We will annotate the parameter which has got the which is being used incorrectly, we'll explain what you're doing wrong. Here's another example diagnostic that we have. So other type checkers might just say, well, you're using this aeta symbol which hasn't been defined, this is going to cause a name error. And what we will do is we'll actually say, well, it is a defined symbol on some other Python versions. Maybe you want to adjust your configuration in your pyproject.toml file, for example. Here's why we think you're using Python 3.8 and why you might be annoyed if it actually ends up crashes on 3.8. So our next design goal is that we want TY to be gradual. What that means is that we want it to be easy to run TY on a code base with next to no type annotations. We want it to be easy to adopt typing on a code base that doesn't use typing at all yet. So our guiding principle here is the gradual guarantee. That's the idea that removing a type annotation should not cause a type error. So if there aren't any type annotations in the code, then the type checker doesn't have much information to go on. So it shouldn't really be making that many assumptions about your code. It should be as permissive as possible based on the information that it has. That doesn't mean that it won't emit any errors, but it should only emit errors when it's certain about things. So one example here is we've got a class retry policy, and it has an attribute max retries, which is being set to none. Now, MyPy and Pyrite here will both say, okay, well, it's unannotated, and it's being assigned to none, so that means that max retries should always be none, and we should complain if it's ever not set to none. But this isn't unlikely to be what the user really intended. So yeah. So MyPy and Pyrite will both say that this is an error. You're assigning one to none. TY takes a different approach. Because the attribute is unannotated, TY makes no assumptions about what types it should be legal to assign to this attribute. Instead of inferring none for the attribute type, we will infer a union unknown or none. Unknown is a type that's like any, but it records its provenance here, so it says, rather than being coming from an explicit any annotation, it's coming from no annotation. So that's what unknown means. And that means that we will not error here. But we will still error if you do this, because we know that adding a string to none will definitely be an error. Another way that we're trying to, that we try to be as permissive as possible on untyped code or code that hasn't previously used a type checker is that we will allow you to redeclare symbols later on in the same scope. Other type checkers will complain to here. They will say paths is a list of strings earlier on in the function, and so you can't make it a list of paths later on. But because we see it's being redeclared as well as reassigned, we will permit this. And lastly, we want to help push the envelope in making the type system more powerful and expressive in typing. There's a lot of features that we still want to add to the Python type system. There's a lot of things that's lacking compared to other more sophisticated type systems like Rust. One big one that the community has been asking for years is intersection types. TY has generalized support for intersection types under the hood. It's how we actually implement type narrowing. And so we hope that by providing an example implementation and type checker, we will hopefully be able to propose this to be standardized in the type system moving forward. So before I end, I should emphasize that TY is pre-release. So it is missing features, it has bugs, it might crash. It is still alpha, but we are hoping to get a beta out soon, and after that, a general release. So try us out using UVX, TY check if you use UV, in our online playground, or using the VS Code extension, and that's it.
A huge round of applause for Alex. We made it! That was sadly our final lightning talk of the whole of the conference. But we will hopefully be back next year for some more. Spend the year thinking up something to write on an index card that you can talk about on this stage. Thank you very much for being a wonderful audience. I don't think I had to ask you to bring up the energy a single time, so that's a first for me. You are, as always, lovely. As I said earlier, my name is Mark Smith. I've been your host for the Lightning Talks. I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you very much. What is a tractor's least favorite programming language? Rust! Rust!